students, welcome back. I hope you must be enjoying my lectures. So now in this section we'll basically be concentrating on cyclic quadrilateral and regular polygon. We shall discuss what do we exactly mean by a regular polygon, and we shall discuss some questions based on them. We shall also discuss some ambiguous cases in case of solution of triangle and questions based on them. So let's begin. Okay, so the next thing that we have is cyclic quadrilateral and regular polygon. First of all, we shall discuss polygon. So sum of interior angles of a polygon is n minus 2 pi, where n is greater than or equal to 2 and n denotes the number of sides of polygon. So sum of interior angles is n minus 2 into pi, where n is the number of sides of polygon and n is obviously greater than or equal to 2. Sum of exterior angles of a polygon is 2 pi. Convex polygon is one in which the highest interior angle is less than 180 degree. If the highest interior angle is less than 180 degree, then the polygon is termed to be a convex polygon. While if the highest interior angle is more than 180 degree, then it is termed to be a concave polygon. Now regular polygon is important. You must know what do we mean by a regular polygon. A regular polygon is a polygon which has all its sides as well as its angles equal. So if in case of a polygon we have all the sides and angles as equal, then that polygon is termed to be a regular polygon. If the polygon has n sides, then the sum of its interior angles is n minus 2 pi, and each angle is given by n minus 2 pi by n in case of regular polygon, right? Then we have a cyclic quadrilateral. A cyclic quadrilateral is a quadrilateral which can be inscribed by a circle. If a quadrilateral can be inscribed by a circle, then that quadrilateral is termed to be a cyclic quadrilateral. In that case, we have certain important points, which are that sum of opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral is 180 degree. This is important property. Then in a cyclic quadrilateral, sum of products of opposite sides is equal to product of diagonals. The sum of products of opposite sides is equal to product of diagonals. Okay, we have an example based on this which says if the area of the circle is A1, the area of regular pentagon inscribed in the circle is A2, then find the ratio A1 is to A2 or A1 by A2. Okay, so first of all it's saying regular pentagon is inscribed in circle, right? So the figure would be somewhat like this. We'll have a circle, and we have a pentagon inscribed in this circle. So pentagon would be somewhat like this, right? This is the pentagon, and let me name it A, B, C, right? This is the pentagon inscribed in a circle, and let me take this as O, join these two, and let me take this as R. So if the area of circle is A1 and the area of regular pentagon, this is a regular pentagon, inscribed in circle is A2, then we have to find out the ratio A1 by A2. Basically we need to find out A1 and A2 both. So in triangle OAB, this is a triangle OAB, we know OA is OB is R, both are radius. So OA is OB is R, and angle AOB is 360 by 5, which is 72 degree. Angle AOB, this angle is 360 by 5. Since it's a pentagon, that is it has 5 sides, so this angle would be equal to 360 by 5, which is 72 degree. Therefore area of triangle OAB or AOB is equal to half R sine 72 degree, which is equal to R square by 2 cos 18 degree, and A2 is area of regular pentagon inscribed in circle is A2, and therefore A2 is area of pentagon and that would be 5 r square by 2 cos 18 degree, right? This was the area of just this triangle AOB. So the area of the pentagon would be 5 times this. So 5 r square by 2. So 5 r square by 2 cos 18 degree. And A1 was area of circle, which is pi r square, right? So A1 by A2 would be equal to pi r square by 5 r square by 2 cos of 18 degree. R square gets cancelled, so I get it as 2 pi by 5 sec pi by 10. This is what we get as the answer. So see, the question was simple. We just had to find out the values of A1 and A2, that is area of circle and area of pentagon. Next is solution of triangles, and in that we will be discussing various ambiguous cases also. When 3 elements of a triangle are known, the other 3 elements can be evaluated. This process is called solution of triangles. If 3 sides ABC are given to you, angle A can be obtained from tan A by 2 is under root S minus B S minus C by S minus A, or using cos A also. We have discussed this earlier also, that if 3 sides are given to you, that means ABC are given, small ABC are given. So you can use the cosine formula, cosine rules, cos A, cos B, cos C can be evaluated, and therefore you can get to know the 3 angles. You can also use this formula also, and once you get A, B and C can be obtained similarly by applying the parallel formulae. If 2 sides B and C and the included angle A are given, then you can use this formula. Tan B minus C by 2 is B minus C by B plus C cot A by 2, and from this you can get the value of this B minus C by 2. Once you get this, you can also calculate B plus C by 2, which is 90 minus A by 2, and so we can get the value of B and C. The third side is given by A is B sin A by sin B, or using this formula also. So these results are important, but you might get confused reading this. You will get to understand this only once you practice a very good number of questions based on these formulae. Next is, if 2 sides B and C and the angle B opposite to side B are given, then sin C is C by B sin B, and now we know A is 180 minus B plus C and A is B by B sin A by sin B. Using these two, again this and this, you can obtain the remaining elements. So basically in a triangle we have A, B, C, 3 sides and 3 angles. So these pointers are just telling you that if some of the sets are given out of these two sets, then how can you obtain the remaining elements. Now see, we have certain cases. If B is less than C sin B, no such triangle is possible. That means, suppose we have a triangle of this form. This is B, this is C, this is A, and this is, it's saying that this is suppose the length B of the triangle, and this is less than this entire length would be C sin B. This entire length would be C sin B, and if B is less than C sin B, then no such triangle is possible. And in case B is equal to C sin B, then further we will have 2 cases, that if B is an obtuse angle, then cos B is negative, and in that case there does not exist any solution triangle. But if B is an acute angle, then cos B is positive, and there exists only one such triangle. And case 3 says B is greater than C sin B, then in that case again we will have 2 further cases, that if B is acute angle, then cos B will be positive, and so in this case 2 values of A will exist if and only if, that is provided C cos B is greater than this value or C is greater than B, and then 2 such triangles are possible, while if C is less than B, only one such triangle is possible. Now B cases, if B is an obtuse angle. If B is obtuse, then cos B is negative, and in this case triangle will exist provided this quantity is greater than mod of cos B or B is greater than C, and if this thing happens then only one such triangle is possible, and if B is less than C there exists no such triangle. We will discuss an example based on the application of these cases and the things will be much clearer. The example says, in a triangle ABC, the sides B, C and angle B are given such that A has two values A1 and A2. Then prove that mod of A1 minus A2 is under root of B square minus C square sine square B. Now see, B and C and angle B are given and it's given that A has two values. So how do we proceed? First of all, we know that cos B is B square plus C square. Cos B will begin with cos B is A square plus C square minus B square by 2AC. Right? So this gives me A square minus 2AC cos B plus C square minus B square is 0. Now if I consider to be equation and it's given that A has two values A1 and A2, so A1 plus A2 would be 2A 2C cos B and A1 A2 would be C square minus B square, right? Therefore, A1 minus A2 whole square is A1 plus A2 whole square minus 4A1 A2. A1 minus A2 whole square would be equal to A1 plus A2 whole square minus 4A1 A2, which is equal to 4C square cos square B minus 4C square minus B square, and this will be equal to 4B square minus 4C square sine square B. So we have 4B square, 4C square can be taken as common and into cos square B minus 1, that becomes minus sine square B. So we get it as 4B square minus 4C square sine square B. So I can take out 4 common, so I have B square minus C square sine square B, and therefore mod of A1 minus A2 becomes 2B square minus C square sine square B. So a mod of A1 minus A2 is 2, this should be 2B square minus C square sine square B. This was the required result. Well, I hope you must have understood about the concave convex polygon and regular polygon, as well as the ambiguous cases in case of solution of triangle. Now this in fact completes the chapter on trigonometry, basically compound angles and solution of triangle. So now in the next section we will be discussing some of the IIT JEE questions of the previous years from this section, that is compound angles and solution of triangle. That will help you to know what kind of questions exactly can you expect in your exams. So stay tuned.